Alright, we are rolling, and hello, and welcome to Prehistoric Kingdom. This is the first episode of a series that I hope to actually be making, and this is also the first video that's probably going to be published since my little car accident. And now, since the whole car accident thing, I have really reconsidered if I want to be doing Jurassic World Evolution, not because I don't like the game, but because it just, I don't know, I just wanted a change of pace of some variety. So, I've been getting very into Prehistoric Kingdom, and it has certainly been a time. Let me just, so, I shall be doing that. Let me just put the nursery here just so I can actually get dinosaurs in this video. Alright, so Prehistoric Kingdom. This is a very different game than Jurassic World Evolution, but also a very similar game. And I would like to start off with a bang. I want to just take a little bit of an hour, not really a ton of editing, to just go in and make a cool enclosure. Now, the question of what to start out with is a whole kettle of fish. But I'm thinking that it would be very nice, very nifty, and very fun to start out with a... actually, great question. What do we want to start out with? Because most zoos, they start out with something very small, they work their way up, but I want to start out with something that immediately draws you in, but not too much. I'm thinking Styracosaurus. Just because, I don't know, I like Styracosaurus. It doesn't seem to be liking me right now, but... oh. Let's see it fully grown up. Ooh, I really like that one. So, let's get one of you. And let's get some of the females. Yeah, I feel like that should be a good enough enclosure. So, 6,000 meters squared is about what we're going to need for these Styracosauruses. So, go to fences, miscellaneous, get this null barrier, and I want it to be kind of right at the entrance. Question is, what kind of entryway do we want? I'm thinking kind of like a valley. So, kind of make a valley that you go over a bridge to enter once you enter the park. So upon entering the park, we have this big old valley of the ceratopsids. Down here, which will sort of level out here into an enclosure where you can kind of go alongside the animals. Forgive me if I'm speaking a little bit fast. Alright, let me just get into here. But I am a little bit in a rush today because I am going to be seeing a movie with one of my good friends from high school and his girlfriend. So that has kind of got me in a little bit of a rush because I don't know when exactly he's going to be arriving because we are incredibly punctual people and definitely do not have any issues whatsoever when it comes to planning for these sorts of occasions. Now I'm thinking... yeah, let me just get the bridge across first. There we go. So, that's sort of the bones of it, but I do want this little section here to sort of bring us down into this Styracosaurus. Not into the enclosure, but just get us a little bit lower so that we get a better view of them. We obviously don't want our guests in any danger, so not going to be allowed too far in, but a little bit of a tiered viewing area, like so, I think. Where they can enter through here. Here. Pause the game so that the guests sort of stop spawning, because I kind of don't want them around. And I seem to have lost my cursor. There we go. Or my mouse seems to have died, which would be significantly worse. Nope, we're good. Yeah, I'm not in too much of a rush, but I do have a little bit of time against me. Hence why I want to get this done at a relatively decent pace. Like, obviously I'm not trying to speed through this because I do want it to look good, because I would like my Prehistoric Kingdom builds to actually look good, because unlike Jurassic World Evolution, if the builds look good, it is 100% because you made them look good. And that's the thing that I really enjoy about this game, is that I can actually have some kind of creative control over how everything looks. I'm also very new to this game, so I do want to learn and get better with it. Let's flip you. Yeah, I think that's good for some bones of what this enclosure will look like. Some fences so people don't fall in. Now we need to establish a look for what this all will look like. Actually, let me just use the grid. Is the grid too big? The grid is definitely too big. Now, I would like to talk more, but when doing these placements, I like to focus because I'm a little bit of a nuisance in that regard, but yeah, no, I've been really enjoying my time playing Prehistoric Kingdom, and also I've been a little bit away from YouTube since, one, just getting a real job outside of this has been, you know, it's been... I do have a real job. This is not... I'm not some, you know, unemployed schmuck. Like, I do actual things with my life. I have a suspicion that I've kind of messed that up, but that's fine. Just delete one of these, and then let me just grab these and put them back. Uh-oh. Just scooch it right there. Good enough. Back to this. But yeah, no, I do have a real job. You know, YouTube is not the only thing I do. I don't get money off of this, so... Like, at some point I would like to, because I do really enjoy just putting a microphone down and talking and playing some dinosaur games. But it's obviously not the most, like... It's not what I want to do in life. I do have other aspirations and goals and other buzzwords, but I do enjoy doing this when I get the chance. So, like, I'm not just doing it because of, whatever. I do like it. And, like, with Jurassic World Evolution 3 never coming. I say that as it's probably going to get announced next week, which I will hopefully be covering. I don't know. I like the journalism aspect of things. It's kind of a thing that I wanted to do a lot more of with like that direwolf video that nobody watched. Is like I want to actually talk about things going on within paleo and within the world, because I like journalism. It's not like the thing that I want to do with my life, no, but I like it. It brings me joy to, be, talking about important things instead of just talking over video games. And that's, like, I'm not complaining, I don't think. I don't think that I'm complaining about, like... Or I try not to complain about, like, that stuff obviously doesn't do as well. Because, like, why would it? It's kind of niche stuff. Whereas, like, I can play Jurassic World Evolution with a sort of really clickable thumbnail. Like, something that isn't in the base game and some modded content, and, like, people will click on it and they'll be attracted to the channel, and that's nice, and I like my name getting out there, but at the same time, that's not really all I want in life. Like, I think Prehistoric Kingdom being really niche in of itself is, I don't know, it feels a little more special to do something like, to play this game rather than just doing the big Jurassic World Evolution. And it sort of harkens back to the olden days of when I would do my little Zoo Tycoon Let's Plays. Back in the very early days. Actually, I think the really early days, back when I was in middle school, I guess. Time flies, I guess. Say I guess a lot, but no, time does fly. Things are constantly moving, and now I'm in my last year of college, or university, as the people from the other side of the pond would call it. But yeah, it's going to be my final year in school in general, so just being here and taking these moments to relax and play some games that remind me of, things I did as a kid. It's kind of a nice little bit of nostalgia to hold on to. And I like that. I like being able to hold on to the few bits of my past that I, can hold on to. Because, in a now unpublished or likely never to be published recording, I talked about how the thing that makes life really special, in my opinion, is its impermanence, and that it all ends at some point. And I think I still stand by that. But I can't lie and say that it isn't depressing to sometimes think about. And there's nothing wrong with thinking depressed or thinking depressingly. It's just not very profitable. I jest, but no. Not sure too many of you would be, like, I think now just opening up and talking about all this stuff in the way that I have been, and getting very close to the microphone there and probably messing with the audio, it has been it feels good for me. It's almost therapeutic, and therapy has never been something that I particularly jived with. It's always something that I never felt like I could mesh well with. But all the while, it's something that I see the importance of for most people, and it's helped a good chunk of the people in my life, and it also hasn't helped a good chunk of the people in my life, so it's kind of this nebulous thing of, I know that it helps, but I also know that it doesn't, and maybe that's why I'm kind of scared to go into it, But I don't think I am scared because I've gone to therapy before. But it just, I guess it hasn't been for me. Which there's nothing wrong with. Not every single thing is made for every single person, but like something that's supposed to help it with a good chunk of the struggles I feel. I don't know. It would be nice. It would be nice if you know, I had those options, you know, kind of available and didn't just talk myself out of everything that I mean, I don't think I talked myself out of it. Oh boy. I kind of messed this up. I don't think I talked myself out of it as much as it just doesn't feel real to me. And that's sort of what, like, puts me in an off mood about it. Like, therapy is good, and we know it helps people. Like, it's been one of my friends is a psychologist. Like, you know, of course the stuff helps. But does it help me? I think not really. At least sometimes. Man, this is a long bit of fence. But thank God for the duplication tool. You know, it's just... But sitting down, making videos, and it's, I think, something I discovered has been helpful for me to, you know, kind of process everything. Like, I work at a job that I don't particularly love, and you know, going through the crisis that is my final years of being young and in school. So that's never fun, but ugh, these aren't going to align. And do I really want to fix every single one of them? The answer is not right now, because I don't have time for that. But we got the bones. We've had the bones. Got a grip. We gotta get moving. Enough talking about whatever the hell. But also no, because the talking is the thing that you come to YouTube for. Because if you just wanted silent commentary, I would hope you would go somewhere that is not my channel. Not because I don't, you know, want this channel to succeed, but because I'd like to imagine that my channel is a little special. But, alas, we move on. Okay. It has been 20 minutes of me just rambling and building these bones. So now, let's start to make something of the bones. I want to pause my recording. So, guess who did not remember to turn his microphone back on during, you know, right after listening to all that talk about how I hope that my channel is me and you guys are here to hear me talk. So, yeah, welcome to post-production. So, what we're doing here is building a nice little cave here so that we have a place for our creatures to be waltzing around. I don't remember if I stated that we're going to be doing more than just the Styracosauruses, but we're doing more than just the Styracosauruses. So, we have these pillar pieces, which I absolutely adore, and I'm going to be using those to make the bridge look a little more feasible and not like it's just, you know, kind of suspended in the air with no, you know, nothing connecting it to the ground, which, you know, as great as it is to have fun, we do want this to have some semblance of reality to it. So here we are with that semblance of reality. Ain't that something? But now, the cliff face. Because I don't know how the pathfinding in this game works. I'm going to be covering the terrain walls with some cliffs so that it's, you know, something that the animals can't just waltz on out of. And here doing some more work on the platform for our guests so that they, you know, it's a little bit more interesting, you know, give it a little something, you know, using these rocks to create an additional viewing area. It's something that's cool, and it's kind of like what we get in real zoos, where you get those little, you know, outcrove bits that you can stick your head into and all that. But now to create the fence. So building a nice big enclosure so that we can have all of our creatures, you know, happily and comfortably inside. And it's like 20,000 meters, so significantly larger than just what our Styracosaurus needs. So now to find some other creatures from the Horseshoe Canyon formation, that being Parasaurolophus walkeri and Lambeosaurus lambe, I want to say. I'm not reading off of the thing. Yeah, Lambeosaurus. So just chucking all of them in, and we need to see what exactly they need. But before any of that, you gotta make this look a little prettier, and by that I mean adding some fences so that they can't just walk away when they get to the non-cliffed edge. So now for the part that is a staple of every single one of my goddamn videos. And that, of course, being the infinite rocks along the wall. And I'm sure that I was talking about something very interesting during this recording, but I cannot for the life of me remember how the actual hell I filled in the almost 10 or 20 minutes of just adding rocks. But I somehow managed to do it. So here we are, just kind of sitting around as I place rocks all around while my house starts to shake, because my sister is packing up and going on a trip abroad, which is always fun. So she's going through the room next to me to get all of her belongings together. So always fun stuff. But yeah, lots of rocks. Sure are. Man, I have no idea how to make this segment entertaining at all, or even informative. So I guess just yeah. So it's currently June, or you know, they call it Jurassic June, and also Pride Month. Happy Pride, everyone. So yeah, I would like to make more videos, especially during this month, because it's such an important month for the paleontological community. And by that I of course mean it's a silly month where people can, you know, pretend that they care about dinosaurs or science. And you know, some of them do. That of course being the sciencey people, whereas the rest of them couldn't give less of a shit, and a good chunk of them are homophobic, so therefore they can suck my dick. Alright, so here I wanted to do a river stream that leads into a calm lake, so that's why I used the rough water mixed with the calm water to make that big lake, using some of these waterfall effects here to kind of make it seem like it's a little bit more motivated to have that break there, because you couldn't actually connect the what's it called? Can't actually connect the running water with the calm water. Now, waterfalls are a pain to work with because I cannot for the life of me find their damn hitboxes. And because of that, I have no way of making the tiny adjustments to make sure that they don't look insane. Which is fun. And I accidentally deleted the entire cliff face there, which was less fun. But if there's any way to, you know, highlight the hitboxes so that I can more aptly work with the waterfalls, that would be great. And please leave a comment below to tell me how to play this game, because I am having a great time learning. And just like that, 2 days later, we are back. We are back in Prehistoric Kingdom, finishing up this lovely exhibit. Now, you may be asking, why did it take you 2 days to get back? Simple. I have a job. And the job went for a very long time. And so, since that took forever, plus the thing that I was doing the other day, that's kind of why it's, you know, taken me so long to get back. But nevertheless, I am back for a little bit. So, time to plant more trees. And I think we wanted the coastal ones. Now, today, Prehistoric Kingdom announced their Update 15, which looks absolutely amazing. And I would make a whole video on it or something. However, this is not exactly a Prehistoric Kingdom channel yet. And it's not that I'm not trying to make it one. But it's just that's stuff that's already been covered by all the good, paleo and dinosaur channels. So, if you want some information on that, maybe I'll do a deep dive into the dev diary, or I'll do some more videos about Prehistoric Kingdom, but as it currently stands, I feel content with just kind of taking a back seat on the PK coverage. At least for right now. At some point I would like to be more involved in the community and all kinds of things, but nevertheless, here I am planting some lovely trees. Now, do these guys also like the tropical trees, or... Okay, so temperate, wetland, and coastal. That's what we are looking for. So let me go to wetland. Oh, I love the reeds so much. It's such an obsession for me, the reeds. I think they really just add to, like, reeds and cattails, they add to literally every single, like, enclosure. Like, I think that's why I got really obsessed with them in Jurassic World Evolution when I started using that expanded scenery mod from Kyodenic. Like, I just really love how water reeds look. It's just, it's like an unhealthy obsession. But nevertheless. We continue with our trees. Papyrus, or cypress. Some bald cypress, looking quite the opposite of bald, but I'm no botanist, so I don't know anything about anything when it comes to that. Swamp beech. Yeah, I am far from a botanist in any regard. Like, my knowledge of plants is limited. Well, granted, I'm far from a paleontologist too, but I like to dress up as one and, make my silly paleo documentaries, so, what can you do? Am I obsessing over these reeds? Yes. Am I going to make it everyone's problem? Also yes. Get these wider ones. Will the Parasaurolophyses and Lambeosauruses and Styracosauruses complain? It's a possibility. But do I care? Not particularly. Alright, and temperate, we said. Get some ground coverings. Some eared willows. Some dandelion grasses. I am so excited for when this game adds the Mesozoic plant life, because as much as I love the, the plants in this game, I say that as if I've been playing this game for very long, but I do really like the plant life that's included. Like, this is a great selection, at least in my opinion, of pretty looking plants. I would very much like to have some more paleo stuff, which, like, granted, I don't know everything about everything when it comes to the paleo plants. However, I do think that they have that nice aesthetic that I think that we should be looking for when trying to make, habitats for these animals. And, like, if we want to have a functioning, zoo that's the best for our animals, we would want them to be, to feel the most at home. And I feel like those paleo plants would do a great job of making this feel kind of like where these things would actually live or would want to live. So I'm very excited about that. It's very cool that they're doing that. So yeah, that's just a brief tangent about the update that's coming. Ooh. Now I'm very much John Hammonding myself in that I'm just choosing plants willy-nilly, having no idea what their actual side effects would be. However, I don't really care. It's a video game. So, you know, what can you do? You know, I'm sure none of these plants are actually poisonous to the dinosaurs. In real life, different story. But in-game, unlikely. At least I'd hope. Because it would be really unfortunate. I would like to keep this area on the side nice and open, the one with the waterfall. Have that be our plain and this be more of our swamp. Or at least our dense forested area. Because I think that makes the habitat a little more interesting. And at the end of the day, we want things to be interesting more so than anything. Like, obviously, we want them to be practical, but they need to be interesting as well. Some horsetails. Some more horsetails. Now, we seem to be good on plant coverage.
Lambeosaurus,
we are not good on plant coverage.
A crested hadrosaur from the late Cretaceous. Hadrosaurs are commonly called duck-billed dinosaurs, after the toothless beak at the front of their mouths. But they aren't completely toothless. Behind the beak are dense concentrations of teeth that are continually replaced, sort of like a shark. If sharks were cows, that is.
Thank you, Nigel. Always a pleasure to hear, you know, what he's got to say about the things that I'm doing. And by that I mean the creatures that are just kind of chilling in the park. Some more coastal plants, probably. I'd like a little tree in the rocks. I think that would be kind of neat. But what tree? What tree looks like it would be growing out of there? Thinking, oh, I gotta have some of these ferns because I absolutely love how ferns look. Let me get a wetland tree because usually they're a little bit funky. I mean, this beach is quite nifty, quite neat. There's that little watery patch that I saw. Right there. Just get little splashes of color among the shrubberies. Now, here's really open. And I'd like there to be something there. Let me get some unbranched trees. You know, so we got a little bit of a story going here about how all of our creatures like fed through all this and now they're moving on. I think that's kind of neat. But now I gotta feed them. What do you need for your food? If I can remember the button, that'd be great. Oh no, it's in the thingy. Alright. Okay, so either feeder's fine. So we're going to keep the feeders kind of over around here. So that the guests will actually see them, like, up close. The fruit feeders there. And the plant feeders here. Let's get some frozen fruit blocks around. Like, this will be kind of a playing area, I suppose. Alright. Let's see if Styracosaurus wants any other enrichments. Nope. No enrichments. Unfortunate. Oh, one other thing. They need their little bedding in their little shelter. This shelter is probably a little bit small in retrospect. But that's fine. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, a nice little exhibit going. Are we happy? We're seeming happy, but let's take a look at the exhibit grade. Alright, we have an A. Welfare is at 88%. Ooh, not so fantastic. Let's put the gate right in... right here, so that our non-existent staff can get in. Speaking of our non-existent staff... oh, let me also put a compost heap somewhere. Because apparently I need one, according to the game. Put it next to the... that. Yes. Where's the staff room? Staff? Nope, navigation. Nope, I'm gonna remember that later. Point is, that's good. 89%. I want to blame our Parasaurolophuses. If I can find them. Lambeosaurus are happy? You are not happy. Why are you unhappy? No, we're good on forest, we're good on biome. Yeah, we're good on everything. Just unhappy for the sake of being unhappy. You as well. Everyone seems happy. Alright, so... I feel as though this side of the... might be a little barren. Well, let me also just complete these fences a bit. Just so our guests don't wander into the hell that is our exhibit. We don't want any unfortunate events to take place in our beautiful park. I say it's a beautiful park, but currently it's just a field. But that matters not. Drop the grid to 1 meter. It's a bit finicky, but it's fine. Alright, use the grid again. I would like smaller grids. I think that would be very helpful. Especially because that's so far off. Like, being able to just have the half sizes would be great for the horizontal axis of the grid. But, you know, I understand. But, you know, it is how it is. Let me scoot these over. Right here. Advanced movement. Boom. Bang. Just shimmy that one on in. Wonderful. I would like some tips to playing the game. It's because it is still very new to me. So, if anyone has any suggestions in the comments on things to do to get better at playing this lovely, lovely little game, that would be appreciated. Because I'm kind of just learning as I go. Which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but not exactly the, you know, the most efficient way of getting all this stuff done. Like, if there is a thing that'll make the grid easier to work with, I would like to know. So yeah, definitely, if you're still here, leave a comment or give suggestions on more enclosures to make or anything like that. Ooh, okay, we're gonna have a lot of... Still got a lot of fence to go. Ah, what is the redo button? Control Y. Brilliant. Alright, set that there. I get very quiet when I start moving things. Uh-oh. Guests are definitely wandering into the enclosure. Because I haven't put a fence up. Whoops. So that's not ideal. Scoot that right there. Duplicate. There we go. Beautiful. Now, the railings are going to be tricky in regards to going on those slopes. I haven't really figured out a way to do that efficiently. But I will find something out. Definitely, comment section. Do your thing. And that would be great. Alright, let me turn the grid off. Let me try doing it as stack. Because this works. It's just not ideal. That's my issue with it. Is it's just not the best way to do it. And that's kind of the tricky part of using stairs in general, though. In all of these games. Alright, let me just make a barrier so guests don't walk into the rocks and fall into the enclosure. Bang. Pow. We want our guests to be able to get close. Just maybe not that close. I'm thinking of turning this floor into glass just so they can get even more. That's not bad. That's not bad. But these rocks are concerning. Don't want there to be any way for them to walk on in. Come on in. Yeah. Is it one more? Ooh. Okay. We'll do one here. One here. Just to be safe. Yeah, so that way you can get into there, but you can't crawl through. Oh, that's definitely walkable. And just like that, nice and clear on the no guests jumping into the enclosure front, except on these here walls. What to do about that? I don't really have a solution. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna focus on... Oh, wait, hold on. Ah, how could I have forgotten? There's an entire other section right here that I just completely omitted from the safety. Whoops. May or may not have double tapped that. But it's fine. All is well in the world. All is not well in the world. But all is well in the little world that we are making here in Prehistoric Kingdom. Yeah, I think that's cute. Now, let's get some glass floors, because I love my little glass floor exhibits. Put that back to stone. No. Okay, glass. 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 So that way, when you're walking over it, you can look down and you can see into their little resting area, which I think is cute. Although, saying that now, probably should expand the rest area. Yeah, because that rock there might be blocking off too much. So let's shift it back. Let me make that one taller. Yep, it's cute. Oh, a little shorter. And there. Let me shift this over to the side. This as well. Shift that out a little bit. So we have a little more space for our dinosaurs to have a little nap area. There we go. Nice big old place for them to nap. And I realize that these are in the wrong module. just place those down. And just like that, that's complete. So now I can look into the exhibit just like that. And let me change the color of the concrete, because it is blindingly bright, and I'd like it to not be. A little grayish blue never hurt anybody. Alright, now to take a look at our very hazardous exhibit with railings that you can simply fall off of. Alright, so enter through the default park entrance. Ignore the pit of despair, but as you walk, you ignore the tree that's coming out of the sidewalk, because I need to move it, which I shall do later. You can look out over the railings, catch some glimpses of some of the creatures you're going to see, or look down into the swamp, maybe catch a glimpse of some of them swimming around. But upon arriving, you're graded by our lovely 3-tiered system. So if you look over here, you get a much nicer look into the plains where you can see our creatures running around, having a grand old time. Can I crouch? I can crouch, so I can emulate being a small child. Maybe this should be higher. Maybe I could add a little step there or something. Or I could just make it thinner. But you can get a nice little look into there, and at the Pillar of Despair. But what you also can do is head down these stairs and get an even closer look at our creatures. Or you can jump over the fence to your death. It seems that they're like migrating. They're moving as a herd. And if you were a small child, you can come into this little rock cove and, I don't know, get an even closer look at the swamp. But you can come over to this side, look at this beautiful lake, where sometimes they'll be swimming around in, other times not so much. Or walk over our glass bridge to see our sleeping creatures. So we have a Lambeosaurus there, I believe. Hello, Lambeosaurus. Or are you Parasaurus? Nope, you're Lambeosaurus. I am so good at dinosaurs. Yeah. But upon concluding your little trip downstairs and ignoring the hazardous, railways, you can head on up, see what's going on in the open plains, and ignore the fences that are attached to nothing. And you can see a Lambeosaurus playing with an ice cube, some Parasaurolithuses walking on by, and you can get a very up-close and personal look at our animals as they feed. Look at that. So cool. So cute. Alright, now to fix those little wonky mistakes that I didn't catch until finally taking a little walk through the exhibit. And if you're wondering, gee, this video seems very disorganized and unprofessional. Oh, sorry, Lambeosaurus. The answer is, it is. But I'm okay with that, because this series is just a way for me to put some stuff out there, have a good time, sit back, relax, and just talk. Because, I've done the whole putting tons of effort into videos thing, and, I don't not like doing it. I like, making videos I can be proud of. But on the other hand, it's just so much work that it's just, if I wanted to get things out at a consistent speed, like, sometimes I gotta do these long, almost unedited, or maybe unedited entirely videos, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think that I want to do more commentary stuff because I like commentating. And I don't like this thunderstorm. Can I change the weather? I don't know how to do that, because again, I'm very new to this game. But I like being able to just sit back and talk. You like this tea? Cool. We go back into first person mode. Let's take a look inside the exhibit, see how we're looking. We have our gray block of doom. See that most of them are spending most of their time in the plains, which is kind of to be expected. Man, Parasaurolophus is a lot smaller than I thought it was. That Lambeosaurus is huge in comparison. Same with Styracosaurus. Styracosaurus is also a lot smaller, but hello you. Look very nice. Oop. Seem to have a great time running around. Splashing around in the water and all the sorts. But these are really pretty. But with that, thank you all so much for joining me on this first episode of Prehistoric Kingdom. And I hope to see you all in this series that will hopefully be lasting me all of summer. Happy Pride Month, happy Jurassic June, and I will see you all in the next episode.